Hello everyone, Chris here from CITC, and I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. This is a new video series that I'm calling Chris's Friday Rants, where I take a bunch of topics that are circling around the tech atmosphere. I'm going to break them down and give you my opinions on them. In today's first episode, I'm going to be talking about Nvdia and specifically GPUs. A lot of things coming out from the Nvdia company and around the graphics card space. So you don't want to miss it. This is Chris's Friday Rants. On this very first episode of Chris's Friday Rants, today I'm going to be talking about Nvdia. Specifically, what is going on with their GPU space. It seems they've made some of their distributors pretty mad recently, specifically Nvdia. Nvdia being one of the biggest distributors of Nvidia graphics cards to date. They have potentially been making them mad, and then we'll go on to talk about what happens with this sort of drop in the ball of Nvidia in terms of their GPUs. And you might be interested to know that there's a few things on the horizon that I foresee. But welcome to Chris's Friday Rants. I'm going to give you some hot topics, and I'm going to jump into my opinions on it. Let's start the day with the first article, Nvdia. So, according to this article, Nvdia is apparently so sick of working with Nvidia that it's going to stop making graphics cards altogether. So it seems that Nvidia has dropped the ball when it comes to their graphics cards. Nvdia, being one of their biggest distributors, is noticing that the margin for the sales of their graphics cards is marginally thin compared to other things such as their power supply. It looks like it's about a 300% more profit increase from their power supply sales as opposed to the GPU sales. This coupled with the fact that the market sales of these graphics cards as they come out, this seems to jump right into the distributors' sales as well. It does seem that Nvdia is distributing these cards at almost a net loss here. So smart move here from Nvdia as they look to drop Nvidia from their graphics cards lineups. Curious to know how that will play out for Nvdia as time will tell. One thing to note here is that Nvdia could possibly be looking into other graphics card manufacturers to distribute them as well. So that brings me to this article here with Intel. Now, Intel hasn't really been the type to be selling GPUs, and they only seem to be worried about processors at this point being their highest selling item. But recently, Intel has released a new GPU by the name of Arc. Here, with sort of Nvidia sort of dropping the ball on their production standpoints, that Intel might pick up a GPU where that market might be missing. So things to note here about the Intel Arc is that it does seem to be running on an entirely different architecture to what would be its competitors, Nvidia and AMD, who we will check out later. The Intel Arc does seem to have ray tracing at the forefront of its marketing strategy here as it's released to the public. And another caveat here to it is it does seem to be only working with modern PC architecture. That meaning all of the motherboards and our chipsets that are set on release from 2022 and onwards are the only things that are going to be compatible with this new GPU from Intel. But as I mentioned before, there is another competitor, one that has been around for a very long time, and that is AMD. Now, AMD Radeon and the Nvidia series cards have been a competition since way back into the 2010s. Now, as we see here, we actually have a comparison of the new AMD Radeon 6900 XT compared to that of the 3090. The 6900 XT is slightly above the benchmark here for Nvidia RTX 3090, both of which are the cream of the crop kind of flagship cards for both companies. And this is just running a benchmark on the game Metro Exodus. Running Ultra HD, that's 2560 by 1440. Ray tracing disabled. This is to say that if Nvidia is going to continue with their lackluster production at this point in time, that Radeon might actually take them over. And as we're seeing from the benchmarks here, that it does seem clear on paper at least, and some of the benchmarks, that the Radeon series can compete at the level of Nvidia at this current point in time. Now, one of the reasons why we would choose a Radeon over Nvidia is going to be that MSRP, that selling point. So let's just go ahead and take a look at an Amazon listing for Nvidia RTX 3900 Finders Edition. This is the flagship card for Nvidia. It is starting at $1658. Now compare that to a RX 6900 XT, which has, as we've seen, comparative benchmarks. It is only at $1199. So when it comes to the GPU space, Nvidia does seem to have the market strategy, and it's sort of a name that everyone trusts to put into the rig. The rig that I'm streaming this video off of right now currently is having a Nvidia 20 series in it. However, that being said, if Nvidia's production to drop some of their distributors like EVGA, then maybe perhaps that we will see other competitors step in to take that place of Nvidia, that definitely being Radeon. Things to note here on the CITC side of things, whenever it comes to building PCs, we're definitely going to be taking a look here at this GPU scenario, because if the price is a lot cheaper as we're seeing here for a little bit better or even the same kind of results, then definitely going to be choosing the Radeon for your builds as opposed to the Nvidia series. But only time will tell. And that's been most of my rant today. I hope you enjoyed. If there's anything that you think I missed or anything that I should have covered in this video about Nvidia and about GPUs in general, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and I will talk with you next time in Chris's Friday Rants. And remember, here at CITC, helping is our passion, tech is our medium.